Welcome back to a freshly squeezed episode of the Flow Skate podcast. I am Sawyer Stinchfield. Unfortunately, Christopher Peterson Mason got caught up with some things down in Disney World. I don't think DeSantis is allowing him to be on the podcast today, but nonetheless, we will keep moving forward. We miss him, but with me today is a very special guest, the man, the myth, the legend, Denver native, Cubs diehard, soon-to-be father of two, the definition of zero fucks given. He grabs life by the gooch and just rides it, baby. It is AJ Grise, my good buddy. What's going on, buddy? How's Whitefish?
It's pretty sweet. It's not much. It's been not much has changed since we last spoke there, Stinchy. It's the weather's a little warmer though. There's less snow. So
Yeah, the pictures
lots of
you sent
mud.
me. Yeah, the pictures you sent me the other day looked pretty nice. Now, how's the kiddo? How's little Jackrabbit Ashton?
He's good. He's taking a nap right now, but he's pretty tough. Like he doesn't give a shit about anything. So
Like his old man.
he runs around and
Does
falls over a
Anne
lot.
want to slit my throat for buying him those mini sticks?
No, he loves the net. He actually uh he
AJ
runs
sent us
around
a
and
AJ sent the group a video the other day of Ashton. His son was supposed to be taking a nap, but he was watching him on the nanny cam, and that little fucker was just running around that room banging his mini hockey sticks together, not sleeping one bit.
now, keep in mind, he's only 14 months, 13 and a half months, so uh, he's a nut job.
Yeah, no,
Um,
that's
he's
my nephew. That's my nephew. I fucking
he's
love that kid. That's why I had to get him his first ever set of mini sticks.
yeah, and then between him and Boone's like 115 pounds now, and he turns one
That
this
is
month.
not AJ's other kid. That is
Boone's
his
my
dog.
dog,
For everybody,
but
everybody
he's
wondering.
he's a big animal. And he got back from boot camp and he's doing well.
Nice. Has Ashton done the survival swim lesson yet?
Yeah, yeah, yes.
How did that
He
go?
graduated. Uh,
For people who don't know, kids, they do these now.
yeah,
Obviously, like
so
swimming lessons. Yeah, like you have the kids. So what is this like? How do swimming classes work for kids nowadays? Because when we were kids, I feel like we started much older, and now they're in these
well,
fucking pools at like 6 weeks
so
old.
it kind of depends on who your parents were on when you started your swim lessons, but like the real redneck friends of mine got tossed in a lake off the dock, and that was like when they were little kids, and it was so that they learned not to drown, and now I
And the
can't
dumb
remember
ones
what the
did.
acronym is. Yeah, like you either did or you didn't. And now I can't remember what the acronym is, but there's a lesson or there's a swim lessons class that teaches survival basically for infants and toddlers to be like if they fall into a pool or if they
Yeah,
fall
like if
into a lake,
they're
they
not
can
supposed to be
float.
swimming, but if they go outside and find
Right.
themselves like mom's not paying
Which is
attention,
like every parent's worst nightmare
of
because
course.
and I always made fun, tongue in cheek made fun of parents for uh, like what are you doing not paying attention to your kid and when I didn't have kids now I have a kid and I'm like that kid is a stealth little monster.
Yeah.
He like I can be doing anything for 5 seconds and turn around and he's like got his face in the dog food, like got like he's up the stairs or
No,
like he's doing some
I
crazy
think the
stuff.
only exception to that is how the fuck did your kid get in the gorilla pen? That I think that's where we draw the line on how much
Yeah,
attention you were paying to your kid.
yeah, yeah.
Is when
That'd
fucking
be a little
Harambe has to
interesting
take a bullet for the U.S. But you know,
and change the course of history. By the way,
well, tell Ashton I said Uncle Stinch is proud of him for graduating that.
yeah, definitely. But it's funny. Stinch got a hockey set for Ashton. It's like the indoor hockey set, and he runs around and he
Yeah,
slashes
I
everybody.
had to be the fr- I had I
He
mean
does get a lot of high sticking penalties, so he spends some time in the box.
hey man, just Be worried when he starts getting a lot of 2 and 10s for checking from behind, like Peterson, like Mason.
Yeah, that
Then he's going to be spending a lot of time in the box, or he's going to be like me and he's going to get 2 and 10s for unsportsmanlike for saying the ref, "You're a
well,
fucking joke."
he's he's got a lot of my influence in him.
Yeah.
We went and watched Spencer play hockey
Yeah. You said. Yeah.
at the tournament up
You
here.
said he had a good time. Yeah. You said he had a good time watching Spencer up at the rink.
Yeah, it was his first live game. We went and watched you when Anne was pregnant with him when
Oh
you came
yeah,
to
yeah,
Breckenridge, but that doesn't really count.
yeah. He heard me cause a ruckus. He didn't.
Yeah, and
He didn't see
that
it.
was, I mean, I was the only person in the stands who was cheering for you and your team in
That
a
whole
crowd
crowd
full of
hated me.
drunken
That whole crowd
Breckenridge
hated
fans.
me.
So I stood up with zero fear. I think Ashton will have zero problems with confidence. Um,
No, no, zero problems with confidence and zero problems with conflict. Now,
well,
speaking
hopefully he
of
has better
conflict,
conflict resolution skills than I do. He'll get that from his mother.
as his uncle Stinch, because speaking of conflict, and I hope you can fucking hear me, you stupid bitch below me. I am at war. I am at war with the lady below me. This is full on war. If anybody out there rents an apartment, and you might know what I'm talking about. And I think I jinxed myself because for a really long time I was into that show on A&E, Neighborhood Wars, just watching people just fucking fuck with their. So I jinxed
Oh,
myself.
it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, man.
God damn it! So about a month ago, I come home from work and I've got a notice on my door, and I'm like, okay, like I knew it was like a warning for something, but in my head, out of all the things that they could warn me for, the last thing I figured it would be noise. Because I'm rarely home, which is why I don't have any animals. I'm rarely home. I'm either coaching my select team, I'm doing private lessons, I'm doing camps, or I'm at my normal day job because I don't make anything from this podcast, contrary to the belief. I mean, I know I have a really nice chair I'm sitting in, but so the last thing I thought it would be was for noise. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what noise do I make? I'm either doing the podcast, which isn't that loud, or I'm watching TV, watching golf. Like I'm not doing anything hockey related. I don't have any weights in my apartment, anything like that. So I said, fuck it. Like I'm just gonna let
Since
it
he's
go.
just doing jumping jacks,
Yeah, like what the fuck? So I just said, fuck it. I'm just
lead
gonna let it
boots
go.
on.
Also, I hear the guy above me. I'm in the middle one. It's like bottom middle. I'm in the middle one. I hear the guy above me all the time.
I
Dude,
mean,
I don't
I
bitch. It's
haven't lived
normal.
in an apartment for a while. I've lived in townhomes,
But
but
noise is normal.
like when we
Like
lived in apartments, it was like you could drop a feather and the entire building would shake. But part
ex-
of it's because it's the way that the buildings are structured.
dude, when
The
the guy
weight gets
above me
distributed
showers,
so that it does that.
when the guy above me turns his shower on, because of the way the boiler system is set up, it sounds like a tsunami the size of the Philippines is going to fucking come
And you're
through the
still in
like
that
top of
same
my ceiling.
apartment, right?
Yeah, it's the same one.
Yeah.
So whatever. I said fuck it. Not going to think anything of it. The other day, I come home, or I'm actually home, and first of all, if you live in an apartment and maintenance knocks on your door or anybody from the front office knocks on your door and you're home, but you have not filed, like you have not asked them to come over for anything, you have not put any work orders, you
It's
never
almost
answer
as
your
bad
door.
as a cop knocking on your
Yeah,
door.
you never answer your door. Like you make as little noise as possible. You hide all contraband that could or may be out,
Put
and
your
you just
phone on do
fucking
not disturb so it doesn't even
you get
vibrate.
you get down on your hands and knees and you fucking crawl underneath the window, and you wait till they're gone. So, anyways, that's exactly what I did. And as I'm huddled in the corner, they slide a little note through my door, and I'm like, "What the fuck is this?" So I get
It's a
it, and
receipt.
it is the second noise complaint. So now there's two noise complaints. Now this one is $50.
Oh, so it
Fifty
was a
dollars.
receipt.
So I had two options. It was go down to the front office, person to person, or call the number on the note.
I would
My
have gone
first
person.
my first instinct was to go person to person, and then in my head, my girlfriend was not there, so there was nobody there for a mediation.
You don't need
So
mediation. You need
it,
revenge.
dude. I was literally, I fucking threw on my Crocs in sport mode, and I was about to be out that front
Sport
door,
mode. You
and
were on a mission.
dude, I had a come to Jesus moment, and I realized if I go to that front office, I'm gonna be evicted by the time I walk out of there. Like I'm cussing everybody out in
You're
there. I'm
active.
fucking the little snacks they have at the fucking front. I'm tossing those. I'm
See,
yard sailing
I would
everything.
have taken some breaths and gone down in person after I
So
cooled off a minute.
so I took some breaths, but you know me, I still can't trust myself. So I took some breaths and I made the phone call and I
Yeah.
said, look, I said, you know, what noise do I make? Like who is complaining on me? And like what is the deal? So they told me that it's the lady below me. So I don't even know if you can do that. I don't even know if you're supposed to tell the person who got the complaint who complained on him because that starts exactly what this is starting. So without hesitations, he says, "Well, the lady below you is working from home today," and I said, "I'm working from home today." Because it was, and she goes, well, she said it sounds like you're working out. I said, ma'am, the only movement I've fucking made is from my goddamn couch to my
There's probably
refrigerator
somebody just
to my
dropping massive
couch.
dumps and it going through the sewer system and smacking off the corners of the
Dude,
pipes.
to this fucking. So, but the only thing that she could complain about is this. There are certain soft spots in my floor that, like, when you walk over, it kind of dips. It's an apartment
Yeah.
and it's shitty made. It dips in and you can hear the steps. It's not all over the apartment, but it's certain spots. I don't have those spots marked with a fucking X so that I don't walk over them. I just
have to
walk
tape
in
it
my
off like a
apartment
crime
like
zone.
normal. So first of all, I said, ma'am, I said,
Chalk
can you,
outlines.
yeah, I said, this is going to be a problem. I said, if you want to come over and like see how I live, you're more than welcome to. I said, I'm in like fucking sweats and a hoodie
Come
on
on
my
up to
day,
the
like on
Stinchy,
my day off working from home. Yeah.
the Stinchy hut.
And she's like, no, we don't
Smells
need to
like
do that.
hockey
And
gear and cologne.
I said, so this is where it becomes dumb as fuck. I said, so what can we do about and I was nice. I said, what can we do about the $50? Because I like, there's
You've raised
no
my
like,
rent. You've essentially just
there's
raised my rent.
there's no proof, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're just taking this lady's word for it. And she said, well, there's nothing we can do. Like, the complaint's already been filed. It's already been put into the system.
Your
And I was
permanent
like,
record.
so again, I guess in this apartment complex, you can just find people. So I said, all right, if this bitch wants to play that game, I said, that's fine. I said, I'd like to file a complaint on her for banging on my floor the other day. And she goes, okay, that's fine. We'll call her and warn her. And I said, and I'm just letting you know, I said, I'm going to call back later this week and file another complaint. I let them know that I was going to call back and basically make up a fucking complaint about the lady below me.
Do.
And they were like, okay, we'll take the complaint when you call.
That's what you have to do.
Yeah, on Monday, I'm probably going to call because don't fuck with my money. You know what I mean? That's like, don't, if anything,
especially
come leave.
in an apartment like it.
You've never left a note. Never left a note on my door. You've never knocked on my door. You've never said, hey, like, so you know what? And now you've costed me $50. So guess what? You're going to eat $50 like I'm eating $50.
Well, and it's like, you want perfect silence, live in the woods in a cabin by yourself. Like,
Yeah.
don't get a shared walls.
Or don't be a fucking pigeon on the bottom floor and fucking pay a little extra for the middle or the top. I mean, that's,
I like the bottom floor. It's the cool.
Some people do.
Temperature is the coolest, but like, it's also where the most break-ins happen.
Some people do. So, lady below me, if you can hear me, suck me. Okay, fuck you. You fucking suck. You're a pigeon, and I'm gonna get you pigeon tossed. Okay, so I won my fantasy hocky.
Oh,
2 years
congratulations.
2 years in a row.
Back to champion.
Back to back. Now, my team last year, Zabinajad Boy, great name, great fucking name. I couldn't go with a player name this year because one of the guys in the league, the guy who ran the league, was talking smack one day. So I decided that my team name would have to be Josh's mom. So Josh's mom came out. Josh's mom came out with the victory.
Is this
Also,
Baltimore Josh or a different Josh?
no, different Josh. But I did speak to Baltimore Josh the other day. He's doing well.
Good.
But Josh's mom came out with a first place victory. My team picture is also Lisa Ann. So, quick roster rundown. These are the boys that got it done for me. Ovechkin,
Fair.
love you. Kirill the Thrill, Barkov.
Injured at the end of the year.
Yeah, Ovechkin and him. It almost fucked me. It almost fucked me so hard.
Saying.
I was gonna. Yeah. So Ovechkin, Kirill the Thrill, Barkov, Aho, Johnny Hockey, Nick Suzuki, Kopitar, Braden Point, Zach Hyman, Stutzla, and then on defense I got Nurse, Carlson, who had a fucking hell of a year, Montour, who I picked up off waiver wires like 6 weeks in.
Pickup.
Yeah. Dursey for LA, Petrie, and then on my bench and rotating in the utility, I had Ricky Raquel, Kairu, Jeff Skinner, Marty Natchez, Carter Verhage, and then here's where it got interesting with my goalies because I rode Jari. So at the start of the year, I took 3 because I'm that petty motherfucker in fantasy where I'll take 3 goalies, so just so somebody can't have one.
That doesn't shock me at all.
Yeah, so I took so I took Olmark, I took Jari, and I took Bennington, and I wasn't gonna drop any of them if exactly.
Why
if they were all gonna
Bennington?
just because he was like he was still out there and
that one time.
Exactly. So obviously Bennington's game went to shit and his brain went to shit, so he got dropped because nobody was gonna pick him up regardless. Then it was Olmark and Jari. They had
not bad.
Not bad. Jari took a dip, though, at the end when Pittsburgh was fighting for that playoff spot, and Olmark got hurt. So at one point in time, I had Olmark, and I dropped Jari and picked up Philip Gustafson from Minnesota. Because when Flower wasn't in, he was in, and they're hot. Then, by the end of the season, the last 2 days of the championship, I dropped Olmark because he was day-to-day, and I knew they weren't going to play him regardless because of the position they're in. And I picked back up Jari and then rode Jari and Gustafson. So the 2 goalies I ended up winning the championship were technically Jari and Gustafson.
Nice.
So, it's pretty good. I think pretty good little.
If you played
now
that's
that's
the Avs, anytime you played the Avs, then you definitely got a lot of points because he just
to me, I played by the rules, but being able to drop a goalie 2 days with 2 days left in the season and pick up players with 2 days left is fucking wild. I don't know how that's.
If it's within the rules, then everybody else could have done it too. So I wouldn't worry
exactly.
about it.
Exactly. So Josh's mom came out with the victory. You know who didn't come out with the victory is fucking me with my take on Winnipeg. They shoved that up my fucking hoop. No spit, no lube, sandpaper finish, baby.
Oh, that's great.
That was a bad take by me.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's tough when you pick with your heart there, Stinchy.
I thought I was picking with my brain.
The game that was so
I know it was bad.
They were not going to beat the Avs, not with Nate Dogg in playoff mode. Like
it was bad.
He just, especially like, did you see the Nashville game?
I saw the mini game when Bonus called Dean Evison a small little fuck or whatever he called.
Yeah, that was good.
Dude, I love when coaches get into because I would be that way.
Shocking.
Come on, Dean. Let's be honest. Dean didn't need to put fucking Ryan Reeves out there with 32 seconds left on the clock.
That's true.
Because that's the thing. If you go back and watch the video, Bonus. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure he's clearly telling somebody. He's like pointing and he's like, go, which was Lowry, who had to fight. You know what I mean? Like that just puts everybody in such a fucking bad position when it didn't really need to. You're not setting you're not playing each other in playoffs, so you're not setting the tone for anything. It was kind of a douchebag move by Dean. It was old school hockey, which I fucking loved, but it was a douchebag move by Dean to do that.
It was mostly, I don't think it was anything more than old school hockey versus old school hockey, and they just got caught up in the fact that they were playing a game against each other. I
Yeah,
think that
yeah,
I think that especially at the end of the season when some teams are in it and some teams aren't going to make the run, it comes down to pride in the moment, and a lot of times you get caught up there. So I think a lot of people make a lot about nothing when
yeah.
it comes to
Oh
that
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Well, yeah. Winnipeg completely shoved that take up my hoop. So I guess I opposite mushed them. I hedged their own bets for them.
Yeah,
Does that makes
we'll
yeah,
call
that
it
makes
that.
sense. We'll call it that. Division winners ended up Boston, obviously, which I had Carolina, I had New Jersey, Colorado, I had Colorado, in Vegas, I had Edmonton. So I went 2 for 4 on division winners. Fuck Nashville. All you had to do was win a goddamn game in regulation, and you couldn't fucking do it. Uh, Fuck Nashville.
Dude. Well, Winnipeg couldn't do it. They had you had two
That's what I'm
teams had two
saying. That's
shots,
what I'm saying.
and you
That's what I'm
could look
saying.
at either one.
Winnipeg
And
shoved it
that's
up.
my point of like Nate Dogg is in playoff mode, and like congratulations to Winnipeg. You're playing a lot better than you have in the past, but Nate Dogg is Nate Dogg.
Winnipeg shoved it up my hoop in multiple ways
Yeah,
by making it to the playoffs, and then by making it to the playoffs, and then the last 2 games going, suck my dick. We're gonna let the Avs win. All you had to do, just
Nashville. Nashville
it
put
was
up
one
an
regulation
interesting fight.
loss.
Nashville had a bunch of guys out there that were just trying to prove that they could hang with the
To
boys,
Can I
and
be honest with
they
you?
played some sweet hockey.
Can I be honest with you?
I'd hope so.
I thought Nashville was gonna whoop that ass for that reason, because every year when teams are out of it, they call up all these guys and all these kids, and these kids don't give a fuck.
Well, what was the guy's
They're
name who was the
they're not
forward
trying
for
to tank. They're
Nashville?
trying to make a fucking team.
He used to be on the Avs, and he just was like vengeance game, and he got 2 goals quick. I can't remember his name, but he's on Nashville. Same thing. Called up from
Yeah.
AHL and just went nuts.
Fuck Nashville.
Um,
God damn it. Winnipeg
I
and
mean,
Nashville. Fuck. I just
Avs
wanted
Avs went pretty.
no, Avs look good. I
They had a
now
good. They had a tough season. I wouldn't have predicted. I knew they were going to make the playoffs. I didn't think they were going to win the division.
fuck the cuck who Scott Scott sent that tweet from
The
that
tortoise
fucking
tweet.
Denver writer who said the Stars in Minnesota were the hares all year and the Avs were the tortoise. The tortoise always like shut the fuck up, you
You're just
fucking
butthurt.
clown.
You're just
No, I'm
butthurt
not. It's
because
just
it's
a
a good
dumb
analogy.
analogy. It's just a dumb analogy. It's a
Why is
dumbass
it dumb?
analogy
Why is it dumb?
because it's
Because
not
the
like
Stars took a charge out front and then couldn't hold on to the lead because they got all fancy with it.
they were never out front by a shit ton.
They're
They
out
were
in front of
always
the Avs. The Avs
but
were out of the
so we're
playoffs for a lot of the season. That's the point of the analogy. It's not over the rest of the field. It was over the Avs. And
no,
because
it's a
the Riders a Denver homer is why that's why it makes sense to Scotty and I because we're also Denver homers. It
it's a
pisses you
dumb
off because you're a
analogy.
Dallas
Fuck
homer.
him. Fuck him. Let him sit in the corner and jerk off to whatever goes on in his house while he writes dumbass fucking analogies like that.
That's
Asshole.
fair. That's fair.
So playoffs start tomorrow night. I'm fucking excited. Yeah, I am so rock hard for these fucking playoffs. I have called Viagra 6 times, the hotline. They have told me 6 times there's nothing they can do for me if I have not taken any of the medicine.
Yeah.
Maybe contact the
Well,
NHLPA or maybe
supposed to
contact
contact a
NHL
physician.
headquarters. I'm thinking about calling I'm thinking about calling ESPN and saying, look, you got to start early because I need to blow this load. I'm so pumped for playoffs. So Boston, Florida,
Yep.
Toronto, Tampa Bay,
Yep.
Carolina, Islanders, New Jersey, and the Rangers for the East. For the West, there's Colorado, Seattle, Dallas, Minnesota, Vegas, and Winnipeg, Edmonton, and LA. So I'm going to go through my picks and winners for the East. Then you're going to go through your picks and winners for the East, and then we'll flip-flop for the West. So, starting in the East with Boston and Florida, I have Boston with a clean sweep, 4-0 on the Cats. It was an absolute must that the Cats make it into the playoffs, but they're not there. I don't see Lyon. I don't see their goalie being able to withstand the pressure from Boston. Boston's coming in with a 4-0 sweep. I got them in 4. Toronto, Tampa Bay. I got Toronto in 7. 4 wins to 3. I think this is the year that they get the monkey off their back out of the first round and get into the second round, actually beat somebody worthy in the first round. By monkey off their back, I mean actually beat a good team. I think they get it done in 7. Carolina and the Islanders, I've got Carolina in 5. I've got 4-1. I just don't. The Islanders are just not. There's not. I just hate the way they play hockey. It's so boring. I think Carolina's going to smash them 5 games, and then New York, New Jersey. This series is going to be a fucking gong show. It is going to be fast. It is going to be fun. I've got the Rangers in 7. I just don't see New Jersey being able to. There's just I feel like they're that team that looks so good, but there's just these little holes that are like there's little leaks coming in, but we can't find it. Like we're like walking around the house and you step in water, but you look everywhere in that area and there's nothing there. But then like the next day there's water in a different place and you're like, where the fuck is this leak coming from? I think it could end up being goaltending. I also think it could end up being toughness because they've got Miles Wood and but they don't really have like a Ryan Reeves. They don't really have like the Islanders. They don't really have like a Ross Johnston. They don't have a Wayne Simmons. They don't have a Luch. They don't have a McDermott. They don't have a Ben. You know what I mean? Like I don't see them having that. So those are my picks. Boston in 4, Toronto in 7, Carolina in 5, Rangers in 7. You're on the fucking clock.
All right. I think Boston's going to get out of the first one, but I think that they're going to go to 7. And I think that because
you have Boston and the Cats going to 7.
Yeah, and I think that because the Cats are pissed after last year being President's Trophy winners and getting bounced so quick, and this year Boston is the President's Trophy winner, and like that's a lot of pressure to begin with. And they were not only President's Trophy winners, but they were so far ahead of everybody else, like far and above, that the only way that they can go is down. Like if they win, it's expected. So there's a ton of pressure on that. So I think it's going to go to 7. I think Boston is going to win that series ultimately, but I do think it's going to go to 7. The other thing is, so
that's a hot take.
In 2019, Bobrovsky played against Tampa Bay when they were the President's Trophy winners, and Columbus won. And then the next year, in 2022, Florida was the President's Trophy winner, and Bobrovsky was on the team and got swept by Tampa Bay. So I just don't think they're going to go 2 years in a row getting swept. And with Bobrovsky being the backup, I think that he's a pretty solid spot.
Is he playing though, or is Lyon playing?
Well, Lyon's going to play most of them, but if it goes to 7, you'll see both tenders.
Yeah, that's what worries. I mean, that's what worries me. I mean, that's a good. Yeah, I mean, that's just a hot take on Game 7. It's a good. Yeah. It's a good rundown with how the previous sweeps have worked with their goaltending. But yeah, that's what worries me. Who do you have for? What do you got? Toronto. Who do you have for Toronto, Tampa?
I have Toronto coming out of Tampa. I just think Tampa.
Yeah.
I just think Tampa's out of gas.
The year.
And I think that Toronto's going to win a playoff series.
Yeah.
Ryan O'Reilly put the Blues on his back with Binnington that year, and he's third liner. So like that's a pretty stacked team. Then I have Carolina coming out over the Islanders. Well, I have Toronto winning in six, and then I
Okay,
have
Toronto in 6.
Carolina in six, and I have New Jersey coming out over the Rangers in seven. Because the same reasons you said, it's just gonna be nuts, fast hockey. Um,
So you have
and I
Boston
just,
in 7, Boston in 7, Toronto in 6, Carolina in 6, Rangers in 7.
yep.
Okay, and I had Boston in 4, Toronto in 7, Carolina in 5, Rangers in 7. So pretty different. Pretty different. For the West, start with Colorado, Seattle. I have Colorado in 6. I think Seattle will win a couple of games just based on depth. I think Seattle is going to surprise some people, just like Winnipeg shoved that entire take up my hoop. Ron Francis has shoved a lot of things up a lot of people's hoops because when that expansion draft happened, even the crowd at the live place was like, what the fuck is going on? Why are we not taking some of these guys that I know? Because I'm not really a big hockey fan yet, but I know the big, and they were taking like Jamie Alexia, and like it was really they passed on Tarasenko and they passed on Carey Price, which ultimately, other than Tarasenko, ended up
Yeah, not
being
bad.
the right move. So Ron Francis shoved all that up all of our asses. I've got them sneaking in a couple wins, probably one at home, if not 2 at home. But then I do have the Avs just based on cup winning mentality, the way they are in that locker room. I'm pretty sure they gas beers in the locker room. The
They don't
team that
drink.
gasses, the
They
team that
Avs don't drink during the.
well then I almost want to switch my pick because the teams that gas the most fucking beers are the team that's gonna get it done. So Toronto better gas some fucking beers because we know the boys in Tampa are gassing beers. So Colorado in 6, Dallas, Minnesota. I got Dallas in 6. That is going to be a tough series. I do think Dallas is the more experienced team. When it comes to the youth side, I do think Dallas has the more skilled youth. It does not get a whole lot better as far as top 2 wingers go than Hintz and Robertson. I mean, those are the Stars have not had a legit number 1 line since it was Ben, Sagan, and Radulov. When like Radulov was his like first year back from the KHL and he had like something that he wanted to prove. They have not had like a legitimately like top 8 line, like first line in the NHL, but they do now with Pavelski, who is ageless, and Hintz and Robertson. So I got Dallas. I got Dallas in 6. I think it's going to be rough. I think it's going to be a rough series. Somebody eventually, maybe Ben, is going to have to fight Reeves. I just think that's just
Eventually,
the way.
I mean, Reeves is a fighter for
Now
no
he's not
reason.
going to play every game though. He's not going to play. He'll play the first couple to set a tone. But if he's not actually like producing anything or getting any chances, I would assume he'll be scratched a few of the games. But I got Dallas in 6, Vegas and Winnipeg. I have been on the record as saying Vegas are frauds.
I think
People
so too,
at
but they
people in
keep
New
winning.
York want to stab me in the throat. There's a bounty on my head at the Mirage. It says, kill this fucker if you ever see him, because I've been on record saying they're frauds. And Winnipeg has also shoved every single one of my takes up my hoop so far. So I'm going Vegas in 5. I'm going Vegas in 5. So I'm allowed back into the city of Vegas, and I'm allowed back into the MGM, and I'm allowed back at that table with Keith so I can take him for some more fucking money. Winnipeg has another
Keith
opportunity.
is probably not employed anymore.
Fucking Keith.
Keith
Do you
lost a
remember?
lot of money that night.
Yeah, Keith lost a lot of. Do you remember when he asked me to cut the deck, and then I was like,
Yeah, you
sure.
just looked at him.
I first of all I just stared at him like an idiot, and then he was like, "Do you want to cut the deck?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, okay, cool. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know you asked people at the table to
First
cut the
timer
deck."
here.
Yeah. So I actually no, not it wasn't even my multiple times. I love blackjack, but I've never been asked to cut the deck by a dealer. I guess I don't
That's
know.
what I
Maybe
mean.
I've just so so I I cut the deck, and this motherfucker looks at me and goes, "You don't have to stick it in so hard, sir." What the fuck do you think I'm gonna say to that? I immediately said, "That's what she said, eh, Keith?" And he said,
Is
"No,
that
it's
appropriate?
not, and I am not a woman, sir." Like, calm the fuck down. Calm down,
Keith was
Keith.
very upset.
Keith was a fucking
Keith didn't like his feedback, and he was losing to a bunch of schmucks.
yeah.
So
He was getting took for everything he fucking had. Vegas in 5, Edmonton, LA. I got LA in 7, and I'm basing that off physicality and toughness. I
fair.
think when it comes down to depth and when it comes down to the final minutes of games, when it does come down to who the fuck is tougher and who the fuck is grittier, I think LA does it. So I've got LA in 7, Colorado 6, Dallas 6, Vegas 5, LA 7.
Nice.
What do you fucking think about that?
Well, I agree for the most part. I got Colorado in 5. I do think Seattle is going to be hyped as shit for their first career or first franchise playoff series. But Avs dropped Grubauer for a reason, and they'll do it again. Like they know him, they know his
Yeah,
tendencies,
yeah.
and like I said before, Nate is playing on a level I've never seen. Against Nashville, like granted, some of those guys were AHL guys. He undressed everybody on the defense when he decided he was going to do that. So I just don't see like I don't see Seattle being the challenge that it should be. Now, don't get me wrong; they're in the playoffs, so every series is up for grabs because it's the
Anything can
NHL.
happen when you play Nirvana after you score, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that's
and
just
I
fucking.
mean the cool they do. Seattle does have one of the coolest like pregame on ice things with the Kraken that they drop from the ceiling. That is pretty
Yeah,
sweet.
yeah.
But I think that they're too young of a franchise and too young of guys that just don't have. Uh, they just have never done it yet, so they don't have the experience that you're going to need. And the Avs are workhorses right now, so I think they're gonna take care of Seattle,
But
but it's
that's
not going to be fun. It's going to be every game's going to be close, and it's not going to be like a blowout Avs, but I think the Avs are going to sneak it away.
I've got the Avs winning, like I said. But what you just said concerns me because the Avs aren't. Oh, like I don't think they're really a workhorse team.
Well,
Like they're a skill. Like they're a like even their defensemen like
I mean,
are
how do you explain then the next man up mentality that they've had all year and still manage to win the division? Like that is a workhorse mentality.
because of skill. I think it's purely based on skill because the one player who has actually stepped up in that moment is Rodriguez.
Or Malgin.
But they're not tough. That they don't like. They're not fighting it. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think
That's
it has.
fair.
It, like I
But
think
we're
it's.
but okay. So what I'm
I think
saying
they've gotten really
workhorse, I'm
lucky
more
with skill.
saying when I say workhorse, I mean more just like persistently never giving up. Where you're saying workhorse is more like knock people around, push people around. The only person on the Avs team that really does that, like you said, is McDermott and Rantanen.
Yeah, because
Rantanen only pushes people around when he gets super pissed. Choo Choo
Nichushkin is
Train
still a
should
big old
be.
pussy.
Yeah, Sasquatch. He's like a head and shoulders bigger than anybody else on the ice when he's on the ice, but he just like can't handle the puck.
Yeah,
Especially he's like got the yips right now, pretty bad. But I think that we're saying the same
fucking
thing.
imagine
It's
that.
just that I kind of we're using different descriptors for it. I think Dallas in 6, like you said. I think Minnesota's good, but I don't think that they're worth a damn. And I think that Dallas is the older brother, like the old North Stars. They left Minnesota,
Yeah.
and
See,
that's
this is.
it's a mental block over Minnesota's head. They'll
I'm
never
glad
get
you
over
said.
it.
I'm glad you said that because when Dallas wins this series, I want Minnesota fans to take every piece of memorabilia that has to do with the North Stars and shove it up your fucking ass because it has zero to do with your fucking team.
Yeah.
Zero to do with your team other than it's located in the same fucking city.
Yeah,
when
it'd be
when
like
you look
Avs
at the
fans wearing a New Jersey Devils jersey and being like, "It's the Colorado Rockies, bro." Like, go get fucked.
It has nothing. It has nothing. When you look at the history of hockey and the history of its teams, the Minnesota North Stars have nothing to do with the Minnesota Wild. Fucking nothing.
Yeah,
they are in the history of these Stars because we went
you
from.
Struck a nerve, boys.
It's fucking bullshit. And you know what? Actually, this is my next fucking point. San Jose fans, Spencer, can go get fucking bent wearing the fucking Seals uniforms because that has nothing to do with your team's history either. I hate how we're giving
the Hartford
teams
Whalers
has everything to do with Carolina. That has everything to do with Carolina because they fucking relocated from Hartford to Carolina.
That's fair. It's like
San Jose Sharks and the California.
So
the Avs would more than welcome be if Winnipeg wanted to wear Atlanta Thrashers throwbacks. That'd be fucking perfect.
What if Calgary wanted to wear the Flames? Oh wait.
But it's just dumb. Like I don't like how we're giving. This is my rant. I don't like how we're letting teams use uniforms
like
based on.
New Jersey Devils wore the Colorado Rockies uniform.
Yeah, like I don't like the territory. Like just because this team played in your area at one point in time, like let's use the jerseys. No,
now, what do you think about the Browns and the Ravens? Change the topic, but it's the same point because the Browns moved to Baltimore and became the Ravens, and the Browns didn't exist. And the Browns, somebody else created the new team, the Browns. The Browns, now the new Browns claim the history of the old Browns, even though the old Browns are in Baltimore as the Ravens. And the Ravens act like they're a brand new franchise.
Listen, the Browns employ. Never mind. The Browns employ the biggest the massage mastermind of all time. What else? But the final point. Hold on. No, fuck you. Hold on. Let me prove my point. This is what I'm talking about. If you play NHL and you go to jersey selection and you're playing with the Stars, you select from all of their jerseys, which include, but are not limited to, the North Stars variations and the California Golden Seals, because that is based on their history. These fucks in Minnesota and these fucks in San Jose never had anything cool, and they can't figure out their own shit, so they have to fucking knock off other things. All right, I'm done. Continue. Vegas and Winnipeg, who you got?
I got Vegas in 6. And then I have Edmonton over LA in 7. And it's because of McDavid and Draisaitl and Nuge.
The Nuge.
They're so good. Now, as an Avs homer, I got to say.
Would you rather play Edmonton?
Than who?
Than LA in this, like if it worked out to where you played
rather play Edmonton. I'd rather play anybody than LA just because I still have scars of their last cup run where they were just unbelievably unbeatable, and I just don't like LA teams in general.
Got Dustin Brown a fucking statue.
Yeah, exactly. I was listening to the altitude radio.
Jill Biden said she wants to put statues in the White House lawn of every player from LSU and Iowa.
I was going to ask you if you think that the second place in the Stanley Cup playoffs is going to get an invite to the White House. But I don't know.
They're all getting
the precedent set. Who knows what's going to happen?
They're all getting statues.
Everybody gets a trophy. It's like
they're all getting statues.
Who do
Yeah.
you have
So
winning the
okay. So,
cup overall?
I mean, who do I want? Who do I have? Are two different things.
You
I want
want
the
the
Stars
Stars.
because that's my team. I do think we are going to make a run. I do have Boston. I do have Boston winning it.
Okay.
I think it's a different, and I'm kind of backtracking on my take from a few weeks ago. I think it's a different Boston team as far as previous President Trophy winners. They just
Well,
look
okay.
and they look and they feel different. Like
Who
when
was the last?
Florida went,
How long has it been since the President's Trophy winner also won the cup? And when was last? Who was the team that did it?
was it 10?
It was the Hawks
No,
in 2013.
or about it
It's
wasn't the
been
Cap.
10 years.
Did the Caps win it? And did the Caps
The
win the
Caps
President's
have
Trophy?
won
And
it, I think. No, the Cap. So the last, there's I think there's only been 8 teams or something, maybe more, that have won the President's Cup and then the Cup that same, or President's Trophy and then the Cup that same year. And the Stars are one of them in '99.
yeah, yeah.
Avs have done it in '01. Fucking Red Wings, did it twice in
I
'02 and
I
'08. But the Hawks were the last to do it, and it's been 10 years. So if a team's going to do it, it's going to be Boston. But like,
yeah.
get fucked, Boston. Get fucked 100% of the time.
I think yeah. That's my pick. I mean, that's my fucking pick.
Who do you think they're
I
going to
have
beat?
Dallas or Edmonton, even though I have LA winning in 7.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Once again, picking with your heart. It's tough.
Oh fuck.
I have it
Oh,
being
stay hot,
Colorado versus
Stinch.
New
Stay
Jersey.
hot, Stinch.
I have Colorado versus New Jersey. I have Colorado winning
That's an old
again.
school final.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why I have it because it's I'm picking with what I want more than I'm
Now
picking
that
for
now
what
that you
makes
mention
sense.
that, you know what I want? I want a Dallas New Jersey final so I can get fucking revenge when we could have went back to back and Jason Arnett fucked me.
That's fair.
So,
I have Toronto losing to New Jersey in the Eastern Conference Finals in 7.
cuz you had New Jersey over Rangers in 7.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you have I thought you had the Rangers in 7. No, you
No,
had
I
New
have
Jersey in 7?
New Jersey in 7, and it's because I think that the little Hughes brother is going to come in and pull him a car and just be fucking
He's good. He's good. He
like
fucks. He fucks.
instantly good.
He
That
now Ovechkin.
family,
Now
that family
Ovechkin.
is
That's
full of skaters. Their mom is a figure skating coach, so they're just
dude.
like
It's I
dancers
don't
out there,
know.
just being fast as shit, and graceful.
I don't know what these guys did. Like what the Hughes dad did, what the Middlestat dad did, what the Hayes
Steen
dad,
dad.
like all these dads that just the Stahl dad. Holy fuck, that's probably the best example. What is in your sperm? Like
I think it's probably
holy
more what's in the environment, or like
holy
what's
shit.
the environment you raise your kids in, and it's like,
Just
and I don't
pumping
know,
out fucking hockey
my
machines.
kid's not
Just
even 2
fucking.
yet. I think it's just like enable them to do whatever they want and tell them that they can do it. They can achieve what they want and make sure that they're able to believe in themselves and have the confidence to go do whatever it is that they think they want to do.
Granted, Ovechkin was hurt, but to come in your very first game and fucking dangle in 3-on-3 OT with that kind of confidence and then fucking wrap it around like that, you fuck. And I mean, all his brothers fuck. That whole it's just unreal. It's just unreal the level of skill. So there's our picks. There's our picks. AJ, we need to have you back on.
Yeah.
I think we need to make this probably a regular thing. With get Peterson involved, all three of us involved. I love having you on. So that's it. That is the Flowskate podcast. Like, subscribe everywhere you see. The full video episode will be on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast from. Like, subscribe, download, give us a shout out on Instagram. Go give us the follow there. Tag us in any story you want. Let us know what you're doing. We want to interact with you. We want to interact with our fans, which we do have a few already. So we're really trying to grow this
Shout
thing.
out.
Yeah, shout out to you 70 people out there.
If you
And
build it, they will come.
yeah, exactly. If you that's with anything in life, if you build it, they will come. So we're going to stay at this. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for being here with us. Like, subscribe everywhere. The Flowskate Podcast. Peace the fuck out, baby.
Later.